Hi scholars! Today we're going to be focusing on making sure we can edit our work and then trying to submit a final draft of our work as well. So when I look at my paragraph that I wrote, I didn't write the whole thing here because I wanted to show you a quick example. I need to think of the word cups when I'm editing something. So this word helps me remember all the things I need to look for when I'm checking my writing to see if I made any mistakes. So the C in cups stands for, I'm sure you just said it if you remember it, stands for capitals. So that being capital letters. The U stands for understanding. Okay, so when we think of that, we need to think of the question, does that make sense or sound right? Okay, P stands for punctuation. A really important place to check for that is at the ends of our sentences, right? With our periods, exclamation points, and question marks. We definitely should be getting those ending marks in the right spot. Then we need to think of S as our spelling. And if we don't know how a word is spelt, we need to stretch the word to hear all the sounds, like stretchy snake. Or we need to find a resource. A resource at home could be a dictionary that you have, or you can go to dictionary.com to look up how to spell a word. Another option would be to ask someone, but they definitely should not help until you've already tried to stretch the word to hear all of the sounds that you know, because you guys are really smart second graders and know a lot of different sound combinations you can use. One reminder for capitals is that the main place we want to check for these is in the word I by itself. Another place we need them is at the beginning of a sentence, okay? And then the last place would be for names of people, places, or things, proper nouns. All right. So we have done this a lot in class, so I'm trusting that you can go through and try to edit your own work. But it's really hard to look for all of those things all at once, so I'm actually going to look for them one at a time. Okay, let me zoom out for a minute. Okay, see? Zooming out. Sorry about that. Give me a minute. Okay, I want you to be able to see my whole paper. All right, so I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm looking at in my opinion, and I already am going to look for capitals first, and I noticed one. So the first letter at the very beginning was not capitalized. We put those 3 lines under it, remember, to show that we need a capital letter. That's the editing mark. Keep going, and I check all of the beginnings of my sentences. Oh, there's a capital W right after the period, and that's the beginning of my sentence. I do have a capital W. Keep going. Oh no, I missed one. I see the letter I by itself, and it's not a capital I, so I'm going to put those 3 lines under it to remind myself what to do before I write my final. Okay, I don't really see any other periods to check after. Uh-oh, I'm wondering why that is capitalized. It's in the middle of my sentence. You don't use capital letters in the middle of sentences unless it's a name, and the word and is not a name. Okay, I did that. Check it off. You can create a little checklist for yourself if you want. A little cups checklist, kind of like what we used in class. Okay, now I'm going to come over here. Now I'm looking for understanding. Does that make sense or sound right? To really truly find that out, I would have to read it. Okay? And I don't mean read it in my head. I mean read it out loud, because that's how I can tell if it sounds right. In my opinion, Raz Kids is the learning app that most fun. Whoopsies. Lots of writers do this. They just forget some words. I don't know what made that sound funny. Let me reread it. In my opinion, RazKids is the learning app that most fun. I think I was supposed to say that is the most fun. There we go. Let me make sure it makes sense. In my opinion, RazKids is the learning app that is the most fun. Yeah, I think that sounds way better. One reason I enjoy this app is that the book room has so many different books to choose. Wait a minute. So many different books to choose from. No, it has lots of them. I need an S at the end of the word books. Good. Okay. To choose from. For example, the book room lets me choose from hundreds of different books, and I'm never bored. Okay, the rest of it seemed to make a lot of sense. Moving on, I'm going to look for punctuation marks that I might be missing. I did notice when I was trying to read it that I read one really, really long sentence, and I only found 2 periods. Uh-oh. There is no way that this is only 2 sentences long. That would be a huge sentence. Okay. In my opinion, RazKids is the learning app that is the most fun. One reason I enjoy this app is that the book room has so many different books to choose from. I feel like pausing there when I read it out loud before I go to my example. I think I was supposed to stop here because that's my reason that I'm telling them. Now, because I'm telling it to them, not asking them anything, I would use a period. As I add my punctuation marks, I'm going to notice that I also am missing some capitals. Because if that's where the sentence ends, this next sentence needs a capital letter at the beginning. Goodness. For example, the book room lets me choose from hundreds of different books, and I'm never bored. Okay, so I did notice something that I missed earlier. Anytime I is by itself, it's supposed to be capitalized. And in the word I'm, it really means 2 words. It means I am. That's called a contraction. I wonder if you remember what punctuation mark I'm supposed to put in there. I'm supposed to separate the I and the little part from the word am with an apostrophe. Okay, so I would put that in there when I'm editing my work. And then the letter I will definitely be capitalized. I'm never bored. Okay, so I checked for my punctuation and I'm on my very last step, spelling. And this can take the most time out of our whole editing process because you have to look at a word, think to yourself, does that look funny to me? Or maybe you show it to a parent or a sibling and they can help circle words that they think you need to check. That's also an option. This, in my opinion, RazKids is the learning, that doesn't quite look right, app that is the most fun. One reason, I know that's not the way I spell one, but that's what one sounds like. But now that I look at it, I remember that. We did that a lot in class. It should say O-N-E, one. That's okay. Made a mistake and now I fixed it. Ooh, I know I can check somewhere for this word. In our Oreo outline from yesterday, we had the word reason, and that doesn't look right. So I'm going to go check in my Oreo outline. And then I'm going to check it, and what I see is reason is spelled R-E-A-S-O-N. One reason I enjoy this app is that the book room, no way, that's not how we spell book. I must have been going pretty fast when I was writing my rough draft. I know the sound in book is a double O. The book room has so many. It does sound like this, but I think we've talked about how we can sound it out like many. So I'm going to circle that, and I might look that one up. I'm not sure. This one's supposed to say different. Well, that's hard, and it's long, and I know I don't have enough vowels in there because when I clap it out, it's different. I need to spell diff. Did I spell diff? Diff. I did. How about Did I spell No, because is not by itself making the sound in the middle of a word. It needs help from a vowel friend. I know it can be ER, IR, UR. Let's see. Different. Or different. Oh, the top one looks way more like what I've seen before. Much better. So we're going to add an E in here. So we say but then we need ent. It really, to make it that sound, ent, should be ENT. Different. That looks like it's going to be much, much better and make way more sense. I'm going to cross that one out so I'm not confused. But you have the option of trying different versions until you get the one that looks the most correct to you. You can also check with parents. Different books to choose from. Chose from. It needs to say oo in the middle. I know the vowel combination that says oo is double O. So that's what I'm going to put there. For example, this was in my Oreo outline. I missed the E on the end there. I remember. I can go back and look. For example, that should have a comma there. I need to pause. The book room lets me choose from hundreds of different. Hey, I spelled that one up here so I can use what I did before. Perfect. Books. And I'm never bored. Usually a D sound at the end of a word is going to be ED. And I just put D. So I better add my E in there. Bored. I think I'm pretty happy with my editing so far. So all good writers make mistakes, and it's really, really okay. They have their own editors to help them fix their work. But the reason we do this, remember, is so that we can make it our best. And so whoever's reading it can actually read it without having to stop and be like, what does that say? We want them to be able to read it all the way through and understand exactly what our opinion is and exactly what we want them to know. Good luck. Do your best at editing, and then when you're done editing, you are going to try and write your final draft today. Okay? So I want you to post your edited version with the marks and then your final draft as well. On Seesaw, to do that, you can go to the journal part of Seesaw. And on there you can take a picture. So you can take a picture of what you did to edit your work. Like I would take a picture of this page. And then you can take another picture of your final neat copy. You can even draw a picture to go with your copy for your final draft. That would be phenomenal. I would love to see what you can do. All right, make it your best.